Ultimate hustlers and digital empire builders. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And today we're talking about procedures and policies for your business. What is the importance of them and how do you create them in order to make your business profitable and sustainable and also transferable? I'm super excited about today's episode. That is something that I'm really getting focused on, is working on my business and not necessarily in my business. So do me a huge favor. Comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from blackbizsuccess.com. If you guys have been under a rock and you haven't listened to anything that I put out over the weekend, then you know that we are in the middle of a soft launch of our brand new app called the Black Biz Success app. It's a digital marketing platform that not only allows you to build your websites, capture pages, sales funnels, email autoresponders, and all of that, but it is an all-in-one automation tool that will allow you to build your business just like the big dogs. Yes, you can build your business just like the big dogs. Every company that builds their website on our platform gets a dedicated business number. So that's good for you solopreneurs out there. So you're not only operating off your cell phone number, but our numbers include automation. Yes, they do. One of the cool features about that automation is a automatic text back feature. So when you miss a call, guess what? Our system will automatically text that person back and just say, hey, sorry, I missed your call. How can I help you? Right? So if you need a better platform where your website lives, if you need better sales funnel, if you need to include automation into your business, you need to check out the Black Biz Success app. Text keyword black to 314-866-4053 to check out a demo. And also, if you want to, you can book a call right there on that site. Today, got to give a huge shout out to my guest, Jim Barnish Jr. Woke up with a migraine this morning, so he's not going to be able to join us this morning, but our prayers and thoughts go out to him. Hopefully he gets himself better real soon. But we're going to continue on in a similar fashion. We're going to talk about how to build a business that sells. And I'll tell you this, you're not building a business that sells or that is going to be sustainable, profitable, or transferable if you're not putting in the right policies and procedures. So we're going to talk about the importance of policies and procedures in your business and how to build them. I found a couple cool articles that I wanted to share with you. I listed them in the comments as well. So comment in the chat where you're from, the name of your business and or your brand, and do you have a written policy and procedure for your business? I'd like to know. If not, now is the time to go ahead and start building those things. A couple quick announcements for those of you who do not know. I am in the process of shooting a talk show for Unheard TV. And we have some opportunities for you to sponsor the Black Biz Success Show, where it's all about Black excellence. It's all about us bringing tools, resources that Black-owned businesses can use to grow their business to the next level. Janelle, my friend, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. So if you want to be a sponsor, then jump in my inbox and I'll give you the contact details for our sales department, and they can put you on the right sponsorship package. Also, I'm still looking for volunteer opportunities. If you know a church or a nonprofit, I would love to donate some of my services to help them build out their branding and their digital marketing presence. Also, if you're in the local St. Louis area, I'm looking for some people to, some organizations to get hands-on with. I want 10 volunteer opportunities for this holiday season. I have one that I'm super excited about, but I would like 9 more. So connect me with any charities looking for some volunteer help and support. And then, man, our Black Friday sale for this Black Biz Success app, I don't know if you can afford to miss it. I don't know if you can afford to miss it. All of the automation that comes with this app. You got to have a platform anyway for your website, for your online presence. You might as well have one that includes all of the necessary automations that can help you attract, convert, ascend, and retain more of your ideal clients. It's really good for any business, but especially for us solopreneurs and small business owners. This changes the game for you in your business. So we need to connect. All you got to do is text keyword Black to 314-866-4053 if you want to see a demo of how the system can work and help you in your business. Now, we get on to our quote of the day. Before we get the show started, y'all know I like to hit you with a quote of the day. Integrity Wealth Solutions, life insurance and retirement is in the building. Get with my man, Janelle, if you need some insurance or you want your retirement planning to get in shape. So we start the show with a quote of the day. And today's quote, as I'm rereading Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, today's quote says this: "No more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty." That is Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich. No more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity, than is required to accept misery and poverty. Comment your favorite comment your favorite quote in the chat, or you can give me your thoughts on that one. Again, that's Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to dream, you might as well dream big, right? I'm building a media company. So why would I build a media company that is rinky-dink when I have the ability to dream to build a media company that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney? Why would I dream of a marketing company in the digital marketing space that is rinky-dink when I can build a marketing company that can rival Google one day, right? It takes the same amount of energy and effort to dream small as it does to dream big. So you might as well dream big and go after it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm saying. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by the Black Biz Success app. You need a digital marketing platform in this day and age, and there is nothing better than the Black Biz Success app. It is an all-in-one digital marketing platform where we have our drag and drop builders, where you can easily build your own website, sales funnels, capture pages, all of the things that you need for a solid online presence, and all of the automation on the backside of those things. So let's get into today's subject matter. It's all about processes. It's all about procedures. It's all about building a for real business that will stand the test of time. And I'm at a place in my life where my wife is telling me, one of my coaches and mentors, Henry Doris, will say, "Well, Cortez, what happens if something happens to you today? Can Thornton Online Marketing go on? Can the Black Biz Success app go on? Can someone look at your policies and procedures and move your company forward and keep your vision going? And the answer is a resounding no. Why? Because I don't have my policies and procedures. And that's why I thought today would be a great show for us to do, because I'm about to get the mugs locked all the way in place, man. I'm no longer playing any games. So I found a couple articles that I thought would be amazing for us to go through. So it's twofold. It's number one, let's talk about the importance of having policies and procedures in the first place, right? And if you have not already hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen, then you want to go ahead and smash that share button so that other business owners can get this great information as well. So number one, the first part is the importance of policies and procedures in your business. Why are they necessary, right? Why are they so important? And then part two is some tips and strategies to help you build out your policies and procedures. And I want to say this to you guys. Even if you are a solopreneur, even if you are just getting started out in business, trust me when I tell you, you'll fare a lot better if you take this part of your business serious versus going down the path of building something special, building something powerful, building something with multiple tentacles like I have done. And now I have to go back and build all of that stuff out, right? You might as well build it out as you go. Give me a 1 in the comment if you can relate, ladies and gentlemen, because some of you guys have been in business for a while, like me, and having policies and procedures have not been at the forefront of your mind. And I hope I can put them there today. So the first article we're going to touch on is from, it looks like a Isabel Witz. This is a personal blog, right? 5 reasons your business needs business process management. 5 reasons your business needs business process management. I'll put the link in the comments so that you guys can go there and follow this young lady and really get an understanding if you want, because I'm not going to read this whole article, but I'm going to hit the high points and you guys can go and read it for yourself. But I think it's a great resource for you. Number one, business process management improves efficiency. That's number one. That's the whole purpose of a business process, right? It improves efficiency. A common challenge for many organizations is that business processes are often inefficient, which results in an increase in waste, predominantly in time and money. You want to stop wasting time and money? Then start documenting what it is you do, how you do it, and start measuring the results of those things. My mentor, Brian Bain, says all the time, you can't measure what you don't track, and you can't grow what you don't measure. So I know that I've got some things that I do in business every day. For instance, for my podcast and some of these other things, and I'm not measuring the results of them. And because I'm not tracking the results, I'm not measuring the results, then I don't have a process or procedure in place to help me improve those things, right? It's likely that there will be many processes in your organization that are not working as seamlessly as they should be. And a business process management is a great way to address those, right? The first step is to identify what is currently done, and then you can put steps in place to make changes. If your business processes are truly optimized for efficiency, you will be able to reduce costs and save precious time and money. Give me a 1 in the comments if you have a written policy and procedure for anything that you do in business. Do you have a written process and procedure for anything that you do in business? Drop a 1, right? You may not have a written process for everything that you do, but do you have a written process for at least one thing that you do? Give me a 1 in the comments, right? I want to know who listens to the show who's already ahead of me, right? I'm telling you, I got a written process for how I do my podcast, right? But if I was managing the processes, constantly reviewing it, could there be room for improvement as it relates to how we do it? So number one, business process management improves efficiency. Number two, business process management supports business knowledge transfer. This is one of the things my mentor was talking about. Shout out to Henry Dars. He really helped open my eyes to a lot of different things in business. But he says, if you don't have a written process and procedure, then how do you transfer the knowledge to somebody that you hire when you start moving on in the business, right? Everyone has to retire at some stage, and people do leave for all sorts of reasons. So how do you ensure that important business knowledge doesn't follow your employees out the door when they leave? Business process management can be an excellent solution for this, as it provides a clear method to capture and store important information, right? We believe the best way to do this is to present this information in the form of process maps, and you can read more about them here. So there's a link to an article on process maps from this Triester website. So that's why I give you the links to the actual websites, because there's other resources attached. But I want you to think about this, right? Especially if you're a solopreneur. Now, I try not to think about my own death and demise, right? But I know that one day it's going to happen. But think about it from this perspective. As you get ready to hire someone in your business, especially for a solopreneur starting to scale our businesses, as you get ready to hire someone, how much easier is it for you to train that person if you have your processes documented? Hey, I'm bringing you in to do this job. Here is the way this job is done at this company. Here is the manual. Here is the training video. And here is the checklist. What? Man, I just impressed myself with that. Here is, you bring a person on and you're going to hire them to do a job. Here is the purpose of you doing this job, right? Here is the training manual on how we do the job at this organization. Okay, how you did it wherever you came from. Here's how we do it at this organization. Here is the training video that supports the training manual. And here is your at a glance checklist to help you get the job done. Now, as they're doing and they're going through the training material, they might have some questions. It's easier for me to answer a few questions than it is for me to sit down and dump all of my knowledge into someone because I didn't have it written down, right? So great to start while your business is young, while you're getting going. Start now with documenting everything that you do, why you do it, and how effective it is, right? So that you can measure, so you can create improvements, so you can keep revising, right? When I was working in corporate, I didn't understand why all of these documents always had the revision date on them, because they are living, breathing documents that are constantly growing and changing, right? So number 3 on this list, business process management provides a framework for continuous improvement, right? If you are interested in implementing a continuous improvement initiative in your organization, then business process management provides an excellent framework for success. Again, you can't measure what you don't track. You can't grow what you don't measure. Continuous improvement is a long-term approach to making small improvements gradually over time, as opposed to one big change that occurs all at once. In this case, business process management will allow you to look closely at your business processes and make small incremental improvements based on data-driven evidence. Not, oh man, I just want to change this for the sake of changing this. No, based on the data, if we make this change right here, we should be able to anticipate this outcome right here, which will result in us saving either time or money or both, right? If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the importance of business processes and procedures. And the second half of the show, we're going to talk about a couple of tips to help you build these processes and procedures, because I'm going through this right now. It's exciting, it's scary, and it's tedious. Shout out to my girl, Nancy Jordan over at Biz by Faith. She's been working with me on flow charts and all kinds of stuff, man. I'm like, ugh, it's a lot. But it's only a lot because I didn't start this from the beginning. I didn't create a habit of documenting and monitoring and tracking and measuring from the beginning. So if you're new in business, make this your habit. Start documenting what you do, why you do it, how you do it, what are the benefits of you doing it, what are the results that come from you doing it, and you can review those documents every 90 days, every 6 months or so to see if there's any improvements that can be made. So hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this. Drop a 1 in a comment if you already have at least one written process or procedure for your business. I would like to know who's doing this out there that listens to the Cortez Hustle Show. Right now it's time for the 1 minute motivation, where we play a short motivational video. And I'm going to ask you to give your takeaways, and I'm going to give one of my takeaways. And one of my favorite parts of the show, because I believe in positive personal growth and self-development. See, everything that we consume, whether we eat it, whether we listen to it, whether we see it, whether we read it, doesn't matter how we consume it. If it's consumed, it is contributing to our personal growth and self-development in some way. The question is it growing your personal growth in the right direction? So let's get into some Kobe Bryant motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
If your job is to try to be the best basketball player you can be, right? To do that, you have to practice, you have to train, right? You want to train as much as you can, as often as you can. So if you get up at 10 in the morning, train at 11, right? 12, say 12, train at 12, train for 2 hours, 12 to 2. You have to let your body recover. So you eat, recover, whatever. You get back out, you train, start training again at 6. Train from 6 to 8, right? And now you go home, you shower, you eat dinner, you go to bed, you wake up, you do it again, right? Those are 2 sessions. Right? Now imagine you wake up at 3, you train at 4. You go 4 to 6, come home, breakfast, relax, blah, blah, blah. Now you're back at it again, 9 to 11, right? You relax, and now all of a sudden you're back at it again, 2 to 4, and now you're back at it again, 7 to 9. Look how much more training I have done by simply starting at 4. All right. And so now you do that. And as the years go on, the separation that you have with your competitors and your peers just grows larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. And by year 5 or 6, doesn't matter what kind of work they do in the summer, they're never going to catch up because you're 5 years behind. Right? So it makes sense to get up and start your day early because you can get more work in.
I don't know about y'all, but when I hear somebody who elevated to the level of success of a Kobe Bryant saying, get up early, I gotta listen. It just makes sense to listen to something like that. He said, if you're gonna be the best at anything, he said basketball, but that translates to being the best at anything, whatever you set your mind to, you want to train as hard as you can, as often as you can. And one of the best ways to add more life to your life is to wake up a little bit earlier. That's it, y'all. That's it. Waking up at 5 in the morning versus 6 in the morning literally adds more life to your life, right? Or I should say more living to your life, right? And it gives you those opportunities to train as hard as you can for as long as you can, right? At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you got to do the work to separate yourself from the competition, right? And the competition aren't the peers as much as it is the person that you started out as, right? In business, yeah, we compete on some level against other businesses, but the major competition that you have is the person that you were when you started, the person that you were last week, the person that you were yesterday, the person that you were the day before. Are you training hard as you can, as often as you can, to become a better person than that? That to me is the key, right? I've seen that video before, but hearing is more and more motivation. Man, I'm telling you, we got more coming from that clip. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see the link to that whole video in the description as well. So that is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Black Biz Success App, the digital marketing platform for solopreneurs and small businesses that are looking to scale their business. One of the benefits of having your website or your landing page or your sales funnel on the Black Biz Success app is we give you a dedicated business phone number, right? A lot of solopreneurs are operating from their own personal cell phones, and that's cool. Start where you are with what you have and know that that is enough. But why not have a dedicated phone number that you know when people call this line, it's about business? And you can have that phone number with certain triggers set so that, for instance, if someone calls my phone number, that phone number that you see on the screen, 314-866-4053, if you call that phone number right now, I'm not going to answer because I'm in the middle of my podcast, right? However, my system is automatically going to send you a text message, though, that says, hey, this is Cortez from Black Biz Success. I missed your call. How can I help you? So it's engaging my potential customers or my current customers with automation so that I don't miss out on a call. Of course, we got tons and tons of other features. So if you text that number, you'll get a link to go see a demo of our entire platform. But you got to have a digital marketing platform these days anyway. You got to have a website anyway. Why not build it on a platform that's going to give you the automation to help support that website so that you attract more of your ideal customers, you convert more using this automation, you ascend more up your value ladder, and you ultimately retain more because your customer service will be through the roof. Text that number, man. Text keyword black to 314-866-4053, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Let us build something amazing together. So we're talking about policies and procedures, the importance of having your procedures down packed and have them written and documented for your business is going to allow for you to create a more predictable return, a more predictable outcome with your efforts. And it's going to save you time, it's going to save you money. So we're going to finish up the 5 reasons you should have procedures in your business, and nobody is commenting on 1, I'm guessing. So comment a 2 if you don't have a written procedure for anything that you do in business so far. I have at least 1 written procedure. I have a written procedure on how we set up the show, right? I have at least 1. Comment a 2 if you don't have any written procedures whatsoever for anything that you do in your business. And this is no shade, because listen, I had 0 until just a few weeks ago when my wife decided to start helping me set the show up. And then we actually documented a process. And I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. So now if I want to hire someone to help me set up the show, I can say, here, follow this, right? Follow this. Janelle says, he's like me, and I know Janelle. Janelle's been in business for a while. He says, 2, I don't have any procedures written down. But the funny thing is, Janelle, you have procedures, right? You just don't write them down. You have a method to how you approach your clients. You have a method to how you approach your leads. You have a method to how you approach your marketing. We just got to take time to write it down. Wilfredo says, yes, I do have some policies and procedures written down, man. Kudos to you, bro. Super excited, super proud of you for that. So let's recap what we've gone over so far so we can finish up strong. So we're talking the 5 reasons that business processes and procedures are important. Number 1 is it's going to improve your efficiency, right? As solopreneurs, a lot of us still have full-time jobs. So we've got to figure out how to be as efficient. Some of us still have families and all kinds of stuff, commitments to our church and our community while we're still trying to run a business. So you want to be efficient. Putting your processes in place can help. Number 2, it supports knowledge transfer, right? Especially when you start growing, you start hiring people, virtual assistants and things of that nature. It makes it easy for you to train them and continue to grow. But also that knowledge transfer, as you bring people into your organization and they help improve, you document all of that stuff. So if they leave, they don't take all the knowledge with them. Number 3, provides a framework for continuous growth. Again, you cannot measure what you do not track, and you cannot grow what you do not measure. So as you create your processes and your procedures, it allows for a mechanism of tracking and measuring. And that then allows for you to continuously make improvements over time. Number 4, business process management supports the implementation of other IT systems like the Black Biz Success app, right? If you have your right processes and procedures in place, then you can start the process of incorporating other things. The implementation of a large IT system can create friction between the IT department and the rest of the business, especially if there is a lack of communication around the potential impact of new systems may have on the rest of the operation, right? Some of you guys are thinking, do I really need the Black Biz Success app? Is it going to cause friction? Is it going to support? Is it going to do everything that Cortez says? So when you have processes in place already, you can see and simply say that, yes, right now, my process is a lead comes in, then I call that lead, and then I have a conversation with that lead, then I book that lead on an appointment. And if I had a system in place that did that for me automatically, would that save me some time? If I had a system in place that automatically weeded out people who are not a good fit for my product or service, and I only have appointments with those who are ready to buy, would that make sense? Well, you don't know how this system can really help you unless you've already been studying your own process to say, you know what, this is for the birds. I couldn't even hire an assistant to do the things that I do because it's all over the place. But put a process in place, and then you can simply see, oh, based on this process, based on the Black Biz Success app, then that app, one of the functions of that app alone can replace this entire process, which frees me up to do more income producing activities in the business, right? Number 5, your business process management eliminates siloed working. Organizations can find that their core departments work very independently from each other, and they do not understand or are not aware of what the other does. This can cause problems, especially when there are numerous processes that overlap several different departments. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? When you have your processes in place, then you can lay out for each department, for each team, how their jobs overlap and how they affect each other, right? That's important, man. That's important. You don't want your organization splintered, right? Even if you are a solopreneur and you're doing a lot of this stuff by yourself, when you do one process by yourself and then you do another process, you'll see that there's some overlap between those two processes, right? Got to start figuring out, how can I put all of this stuff down on paper? How can I build it in a way so that when I do hire my first person, me and that person don't clash because we got certain overlaps in what we do and how we do it, right? It's critically important to have business process, not only business processes and procedures, but also the management of those things. How often are you going to review your processes? How often are you going to meet with your team and go over the processes and procedures to find out is this still effective, right? Is this still working? Is there a step that we can eliminate that will allow us to be more efficient? Is there a step that we should add that will increase more productivity, right? What is the management process? Once you build these processes, these procedures, then you got to build a management process to manage them. So those are the 5 reasons that, among many, you should have processes in place. But guess what? We're not going to stop there. We're going to go ahead and jump into this article from Inc. magazine or Inc.com that talks about the 4 ways to create processes to build a stronger legacy business, right? So put a link to the I'll put a link in the show notes in the comments so you can check out this article for yourself. Like I said, I can't read the whole articles, but these are great, right? So this again is Inc.com. 4 ways to create processes that will help you build a stronger legacy. Set your company up for success now and in the future. Follow these steps to building better processes. Founders or starters of new divisions in established companies are used to doing everything for their businesses, often moving too fast to document their process, right? Especially in the early stages of growth, the focus is more on getting things done by any means necessary than worrying about the A to Z's of how it gets accomplished. As a result, developing formal processes and systems tends to take a back seat. I'm telling you from experience, if you're in business and you plan to be in business for any length of time in the foreseeable future, make time to build your processes and your procedures. I'm telling you, especially if you're like me, a little scatterbrain. I've got 2 distinct companies growing at the same time. Both of those companies have very unique service and product offerings to the marketplace, right? And neither one of them, except for the podcast, has a documented process and procedure, right? Well, Thornton Online Marketing, thanks to Biz by Faith and Nancy Jordan, has the skeleton of some procedures that have been documented so far. But trust me when I say it's harder to go back and build all of this stuff. Like, start documenting what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it's working, what are the results that you're getting from the very beginning. As a company scales, most leaders will find the need to expand their team and start thinking about how to train others to do the tasks that they once did. Transitioning from tackling the day-to-day operation to settling into more overreaching leadership position requires careful planning to create a system of repeatable processes that others can successfully follow. As leadership expert and author John C. Maxwell wrote, legacy is created only when a person puts his organization into the position to do great things without them. So here are some steps you can take to help create that legacy. Number 1, take inventory of your actions now. Don't wait, right? Because like, you literally get into such a rhythm with what you do that if you try to document it now, I guarantee you'll miss 1,000 steps that you do because they come so naturally to you that you'll forget that, oh, that is an important part of the process. That isn't. Ask me how I know. I did that with my wife, and she kept coming back like, but wait a minute, you just did this, but you didn't say that. I need you to say everything that you're doing so I can write it down. And I'm like, really? Yeah, because you assume that the person that's going to take over this duty, this action, this job is as knowledgeable about the intricacies of all the systems as you are. And that ain't the case. So when I say you got to log into this application, I also got to say here's how you log into this application. Here's why you're logging into this application. Here's what you're going to do when you get logged into this application. Here's why you're going to do that. And here's how it's going to affect the outcome. And it gets tedious, man. It gets tedious. But when it's all documented, you'll be able to hand that document to a new person in your organization and say, hey, I need you to now move into this role and take over this. And they'll be able to read that document and pick up right from there, right? You do things every day to drive your business forward. Now is the time to really pay attention to them. Notice you take steps towards another successful outcome and consider every action as a best practice, no matter how minute or simple it may be. Then create a process for each of your actions. Don't assume that someone trying to replicate what you've done will share your intuition or that certain actions are obvious. That's what I thought about my wife. I was like, okay, that's obvious that we're gonna do this, this, and this. And she's like, no, it's not obvious. I ain't never done this before. Right? Take time to write down your process on Post-its and put them up on the wall. You can always add, subtract, or rearrange as needed, but a disciplined approach will give you tremendous insight into how many small tasks are involved in the final output. And then from there, you can create a checklist, right? Number 2, we're talking about the 4 ways to start building your processes, right? Number 1 is you take inventory of all of your actions, right? Start paying attention, start jotting those things down on little Post-it notes, right? And then you can rearrange them into a system or flow. Number 2, get the team involved. Just as you will get input from customers about your products, gather valuable insights from your own people. Create feedback loops for ideas on ways to continually improve your process. You don't have to take every one of them, but you may uncover new ways to make a process more efficient, right? I'm gonna say this because this is how industries was built, right? And we know the country was built from the backs of slaves, right? What the best slave owners would do is they would literally get the feedback from the slaves on how to best do certain things, right? How do you think the cotton gin was created? It was created by a slave who said, hey, in order for, as we are picking the cotton off the cotton seeds, basically we're just doing this all day. We're just picking the cotton off the seed. So if we built a machine that pretty much did this all day, then we could get these seeds off the cotton faster. The cotton can get processed faster, turn it into thread or whatever faster. So if you got people on the ground in the trenches doing the work, and you're not talking to those people regularly about what can be done to make improvements, I don't care what industry, what company you go across, all of the best innovations for that industry and that company always came from the bottom down, not the top. The people in the trenches said, you know what, boss? If we had this, if we did it this way, it would make life easier, or it would make us more fast, it would make us faster, it would make us better. So why not make a habit of getting the feedback from people who are in the trenches? They are doing it 1,000 times a day. So clearly they know how to do it and the best ways to do it, right? Don't wait until you have everything perfectly spelled out to involve your people. Build your processes as you go and share them widely. Get the team working on your actions and start holding them accountable to sticking to them while still being open to possible improvements to consider it a beta test. It's like, hey, here's what we're going to do, and here's why you're going to do it, and I got to hold you to doing it so that we can ultimately develop a better process. So as you start doing it and you get into a rhythm doing it, you might start saying, you know what, we're doing this part first, and that part actually should be last. If we did this other part first and ran through the rest of the list and that part became last, we can all get these things done a lot faster. Boom. You just created a better process by starting with a process that wasn't perfect. Right? Number 3, empower others to contribute to the system. So don't just get their feedback. Let them know that their feedback is going to be important. While it's important to align your team around your method of doing things, it's also beneficial to open up the floor to others to build their own processes, especially early on. It's a great way to share ownership of ideas and reward those who have identified problems or innovative new solutions, right? And here's the key. As they start developing their processes, make sure they're writing their processes down. Because the last thing you want to do is have someone get so good at doing something and then they leave the company. You have them, they develop this process for your for themselves, right? And they become your top producer. And then they leave the company with all of that knowledge because you are not in the habit of creating your processes. So you didn't have them write down their process. So they can then take their process and transfer that knowledge to the rest of the team. Hey, Ebony, I see you. Avoid building processes in silos as much as possible. Yes, you may move faster alone, but you go further and create a stronger foundation when you involve others. Let team members from all corners of the company contribute to a way of doing things that most directly affect them. Right? If you're a cashier for a company, then you are doing and ringing out hundreds of people every single day, depending on how big the business is and how fast they're growing and how much traffic they have. You're going to develop a way to get through. And if I'm sitting back watching 5 of my cashiers, 4 of them are ringing out 80 people a day. One of them is ringing out 150 people a day. You think I'm not going to figure out what that one person is doing, help them document that into a procedure and a process, and train the other 4 on how to do it so we're all more efficient? And what that does is when the other 4 become more efficient, it takes a little pressure off the one who is leading the pack. And it becomes an opportunity to promote that person who is leading the pack. Listen, not only are we going to document your process and your procedure, I'm going to have you train the other 4 cashiers on your way because your way is clearly superior, right? So that was number 3, empower others to contribute. Number 4, this is the last one. Be careful not to over process, right? Be careful not to over process. Successful companies maintain a growth mentality for as long as possible, one that prioritizes nimbleness and open-mindedness. Beware of analysis paralysis that may burden your organization and add friction that slows things down. Processes should be reserved for critical and material functions first. Make it simple, Understand the needs, gather the data, then act. As your business grows, process may be the very thing that ensures efficiency. Scale requires repeatable actions for consistency and continuity, both in-house and with customers. When everyone knows what to expect, relationships are more satisfying, right? In the same vein, remember that if a process ain't broke, don't fix it. If in the course of your taking inventory on your actions, you discover that everything is running as smoothly as possible already, let it be. Just remember to document the steps for new and future team members, right? That is the key. Document the steps for new and future team members. Building processes and systems allows founders to run a tighter ship now while dramatically improving the odds that things will continue to run just as strong in the future. Commit to sharing and training processes so it becomes second nature to your teams, and you'll be well on your way to creating a lasting legacy. I tell y'all all the time, man, this is for me, right? I'm talking to myself. I'm just talking out loud, and you guys get to hear. Right? Check the show notes and the link in the description. I put the links to 2 articles that we referenced today so that you guys can go and read those articles. And what's cool is those articles often link to other resources. So that's why it's important that you guys go and see that stuff for yourself, right? So that you don't miss the other resources that they often link to. So get your policies and processes and procedures down. Start the process, right? Look at the one thing that you do the most. That's why I started with the podcast. I do the podcast every day. So it was important for me to A, get some help, but B, get the process down. Hey, here's how I set the podcast up on StreamYard. Here's how I then set it up on my podcasting host platform. Here's how I then set it up on my blog. Here's how I then syndicate the podcast. Here's how it goes to Facebook. Here's how it goes to YouTube. Here's how it goes to LinkedIn. Here's how it goes to Twitter, so that when I'm live in the morning, it's live on all of these places. So you guys can always watch the Cortez Hustle Show live on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And then here's the process that gets it out on iTunes. Here's what gets it out on Stitcher and Spotify and iHeartRadio and all of these different places that the podcast lives, right? So we built out the procedure and the process for making that all happen, right? So huge shout out to my sugar, because she helped me with that. And that was the first process that I built. So I literally can hire someone to set up my podcast for me, hand them that document, have them watch a short video, and they would be trained probably just from that about 80%. The other 20% isn't going to come until they actually start doing it every day. And then you know what I'm going to do when they start doing it every day? I'm going to ask them once or twice a week, how's it going? How are you doing it? What is your rhythm? What is your flow, right? Can we make any improvements to the process? I want you to document what you're doing and how you're doing it and getting through. And then we look at both documents and say, oh, well, it was taking me 45 minutes to get one show together. I see you're doing it in 22 minutes. What's your process? Oh, okay. So you moved this step over here and you did this step last, and then you copied and pasted from this step to that step to make it easier. So you basically eliminated a whole step. Oh, write that down for me. Now let's record a short video on it. And now this becomes the new process, right? That's the importance of processes, procedures in your business, man. And when I have Michelle Seiler Tucker on, she is the queen of acquisitions, right? All she does is buy, fix, and sell companies, or she helps companies get into a position so that they can sell for maximum value. She's the author of the best-selling book, Exit Rich. And she talked about her 6 Ps. And one of those P's is documented processes and procedures. Documented, right? All mine are documented up here. Every day I do the same thing, but I'm the only one that knows what I'm doing every day. I got to get those things out, get them on paper, get them down. And as I'm building the new company for the Black Biz Success app, I'm starting this process like from the beginning. I don't want to build it to 100 users and then go back and start saying, okay, well, how did I get 100 users? No, I'm building a process for getting my first user. And I'm going to keep reviewing that process every month. Hey, is this still work? Is this still effective? Right? So that I can bring in and train people on these repeatable actions so that we can have predictable growth. Man, I hope you guys got just as much out of this thing as I did today. Remember, if you need a website, if you need a landing page, if you need a sales funnel, consider building your digital presence on the Black Biz Success app. When I tell you this thing is so robust, it is the best thing for solopreneurs, small businesses, but trust and believe, major enterprises can run this same platform as well. One of the best benefits is, thank you, Ebony. She says, yes, it did. It really helps. One of the best features for solopreneurs is when you build your website on our platform, you're going to get a dedicated business phone number that you can forward to your cell phone number, but that dedicated business phone number has automation built into it. So you literally have a phone number that when people text you a keyword, then you can automatically have things fire out. Like for instance, when you text keyword black to 314-866-4053, it's going to automatically fire out some automations to you to get you what you're looking for, right? That comes included just for you building your website on our platform. So if you need a new website or you want to move your website over here, text black to that number. Let's go watch a quick demo on the page. It's about 6 minutes, and then let's jump on a call, book a call, and we can go through a full demo and how this applies to your business specifically. And here's one of the best benefits, right? Not only will you have the platform where you can build your online presence, but as an expert in marketing, I'm going to help you deploy that platform because we're creating, in conjunction with the Black Biz Success app, the Black Biz Success Mastermind, where we're going to teach you all of the marketing strategies. So it's cool to have a website, but it's better to have a website and you know how to get traffic to that website. It's cool to have a website and get traffic, but it's better to have a website, get tons of traffic to it, and have your systems convert that traffic into leads, convert those leads into sales, ascend those customers up your value ladder, and ultimately retain those customers into your continuity programs. Yeah, you get all of that when you rock with me. So hopefully you see the value in why the Black Biz Success app was created and how it can help you grow your business. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.